malware traffic that we have done in the Wireshark malware traffic analysis. So for that we have downloaded the traffic file in the PCAP, and we tried opening that PCAP file, and we have selected some columns like SRC port, okay, and destination port, just like this. So in the preferences we have gone for columns and SRC port, destination port, and we have removed the protocol length and gone for OK. Then we have checked for the HTTP request. So here we got various requests. That means this request of type get type are there, and one post type request is there. And one more thing is here the get request is going to some destination, which is some unknown destination here. And one thing we can confirm is the source IP is 172.16.2.96. So source IP is 172.16.2.96, and port you don't know anything, so any port. External, that is here this source IP is nothing but here the internal IP, that is home IP. This is home network, and external network you don't know what is the external network. The external network may not be a home network, so we can say external network is not the home network, and you don't know from which port you are getting the request, so maybe any port. So in the rule header we have to write alert with the protocol that we are going to write. So alert, so here it is using TCP as the communication. Since it is a HTTP based request, HTTP at the application layer will use the TCP as the transport layer protocol. So we can say TCP, and we need to identify not only from the traffic coming from the outside. So this is a peculiar case that we have to identify the Trojan activity that is happening when we connect to the external network. So the traffic flow will be from the internal to the external network, that is home network to the home network of any port to external network of any port, right? So some get method initiated, and the not identity, so it should be 1 lakh something, 1 like that, and the revision 1. So this is the brief way of writing the rule in the SNOT IDPS. So here what we are going to do is we are going to monitor the TCP protocol of type get method. MSG is of get method, and MSG is get, that is nothing but we are going to identify the get method and all. And if you look at the SNOT cheat sheet, in which you will be finding various modifiers here, no case, raw bytes, offset and all, in which we can say we can use the SID, we have used the reverse revision, we have used class type, content is there, okay, we can use the content type, and we can also use the type of the data, that is type of the request. So let us see, is there any request related thing is available. So here priority, reference, and offset raw bytes sense. So here class type, priority, content. So content is of type get. Get content we are going to consider. So content is of type get. So get like that we can write, so that we can identify the get method, get related information. So this is the way we can form the rule. So first is observation of the first step is observation of the traffic. So in this observation, we have gone for observing of the TCP stream. In the TCP stream, we have observed what is the get method, what is the post method, and what type of executions or what type of execution is happened, and what is the external IP addresses, or we can say here you cannot say IP address, here it is external websites that you have referred to. So here the external website that we have referred or the request has gone through is 4 shared that we have observed there. So if you look at the traffic analysis, so the request has gone to the 1dk fju.php. Next is the request has gone to bibi slash w7.txt, and also it went to the .tiff, and also went to bsb slash debug no sso slash index.php. So these are the possible ways of these are the possible websites that it may go through whenever any get request we have accessed to these destinations of any address from the source address of 170.16.2.96. So actually this is a very popular example you can find over the internet also. The same thing I am demonstrating here for your easy understanding. So for this what I have done is to not to waste time, so I have already written the rules for this. Here with a simple example you come to know how to form the rules. So here you look at alert TCP home underscore net. Okay, home underscore net. So the direction is external network. That means the request is going from the home network to the external network and to the ports. So here I have written any port here, since it is a HTTP request. So HTTP ports will be checked. So we can say it is HTTP port. That is the value. So whenever dollar symbol is there, it means that it's a value of. So what is the value of? This value we have written in the snort.conf file. That is the reason we are going to make it as a value of. So value of HTTP ports. Okay. So that means whatever the HTTP ports listed in the snort.conf, we are going to refer to those ports. That is what the meaning of this. I hope you got this by this time. So dollar symbol represents the value of. Variable name will be represented without dollar. Okay. So this is the way you will write. Here now, the first one is the message is probable successful phishing attack flow established. That means the connection is established here. Otherwise, this get method request will not happen. Whenever the connection is established, then we'll get the HTTP / 1.1. The connection is established at present, and the content is get method. So we have seen just now content is get. HTTP underscore method. This is a HTTP method. This is get method. Content. So from which website or from which link you have observed this particular thing? That is from via this one. Right click and follow TCP stream. In this TCP stream, you have got this get slash okay slash 1dk fju.php question mark. That is what the URL we have connected to. And HTTP URI, this is what we call HTTP URL. Class type is Trojan activity. So there should not be any space between Trojan and activity. You have to combine it with a hyphen symbol. Otherwise, you will get an error. The snot rule ID is equal to, we all know that the snot rule ID, user IDs must be greater than 1 lakh 1, the 10 lakh 1. Okay, that is 1 million and above has to be used for the user defined rules, and revision is 1. Now this is the possible phishing attack. Now we'll check for other alternative, that is after the attack is happened, that is post infection. The next post infection alert is similar to the previous alert. Whenever the home network is connected to the external network with the HTTP ports, the message what we have observed is, let will go back. So is there any other thing is there? Okay, once it is connected here, the download, okay, BIBI, BSB, these are the websites we have connected to. So after this is the type, this is the place where the infection was started. Then here the first infection, second infection, third infection, like that it will go on. So whenever the infections are happening, the source address is same, but it is going to connect to the different external addresses. First it is connected to the 65.181, then 74, then 65.181, like that it was changed. That means in middle it was changed. That means this is the first indication of the what you call the infection. So this can be written like this: probable post infection, first indication, flow established. So since it is established to server, to whom? To the external server. Content is get method, HTTP underscore method. Content is /BIBI. The content is /BIBI. This is the indication. And this is HTTP URI, and it is also a Trojan activity. And in addition to the BIBI, we have other content is called BSB infect. So here BSB infects are there. That also we are supposed to mention. In the BSB, two types of infections are there. One is infects. Next is debug number SSO. This is also a kind of infection. So both the things has to be written. In one rule, I will write the BSB infection index.php. So how can you identify this website? You can observe via by right clicking, go to the follow TCP stream. There you will get the IP address, there you will get the URL. So you don't need to write the entire URL. However, this first URL is sufficient to write, because the next parameters here are the will differ from system to system. That person Matthew may be using the Windows Home Premium Edition, but it will vary from person to person. But the parameters will be taken via get method using this URL. So we require this URL to be written into the rule. In the same is the case for the next URLs also. So now this is the BSB/infect/index.php, BSB/debug NOSSO /index.php, and at the same time another thing that is this one with post request. So same IP address, same home network, but with a different external network. So here up to 65 dot is similar network, but here you look at 158.69, this is different external network. So far we are using get method, here we are using post method. So that means post request has happened. So this has to be written here. That means we have, with the analysis of the Wireshark, we come to know that okay, these are the infections identified, and what we are doing is we are making the rules for this infection. Here rules in the sense signatures. In future, if the same server, external server, which is a malicious server, is trying to establish connection with any of the internal network, with this signature, immediately the intrusion detection system will identify it and will intimate to the security engineer, so that the security engineer will be alert and they will block this servers, this external malicious servers. That is what the intention here. Now, previous methods are get method. So here is a get method, and here is also get method. But one method we have seen is post method. That is what the post method here. So this post method is having /mestre/admin/x.php. So this content has to be placed here. So the content is with this x.php, and the class type is Trojan activity. SID is 10 lakhs and above. We are supposed to write. These are the serial number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 5 we have written. Now these are the rules we have written for understanding, for observing any kind of malicious activity like this will happen in future, right? So now what I'm doing is I'm going to copy and paste it in the Kali Linux Snot installation. Let will go to the where this particular configuration will be available. Rules, local rules. It will be available in the etc/snot. So here in under the rules, you will find this local.rules. That will open local.rules. Here we'll paste this. Okay, we'll paste this. Now, what is the home address? That is, the address is 172.16.2.96. This is the local address. But actually, the Kali Linux was configured with the different network interfaces. The network interfaces will be like this. We know that both the network interfaces are active at present. So ifconfig. It is in the 192 series, but we need to test with the 172. Okay, we don't know. We need to set with the 172. Now, either one thing is you have to change this IP address to the 172 series, or you may also use some other technique to indicate that we are going to use the 172 series instead of 192 series. So for this, what we are supposed to do instead of changing this, one thing is go to the rules and just go back, and here snot.conf. In the snot.conf, already we have written the home address and details. So 19.168.1.1/24 is the home network series. So along with this one, what I will do is I will write 172.16. What is the home address here? 172.16.2.96. I'm considering this is also as my home network. This IP address is also of my home network. Now next thing what we are supposed to do is we are supposed to write. We are supposed to use the pcap file that we have downloaded. That is, which is there on the desktop. So this 2016-12-17 traffic analysis exe.pcap. This pcap file need to be tested or run against the snot rules that we have written. So here are the snot rules we have written. Just will save this, and we have indicated the home address as this one. Now our main task is to uh, run this particular PCAP file so that the snort will detect it and will indicate the what you call the log with the malicious activities. Practically, it is not possible because already this traffic was generated. But in future, if the same traffic was generated, will we in a position to identify the attacks or not? That is the main thing that we are supposed to focus on. In order to do this, we require a tool called TCP reply. TCP reply. This TCP reply is a tool which will help us to run the PCAP file as it is happening from our computer. Okay, so that means this traffic analysis exercise PCAP file is already generated. That means somebody has done this and some traffic generation was done and PCAP file is generated. But now what I am doing is I am running it as it is happening on my computer. So for this we require a tool called TCP reply. So this TCP reply is having various options like this: TCP reply, flags, name, and PCAP file. So that means here the flags are like this: how many iterations we need to perform, and how much time we need to spend on the what you call traffic. Okay, these kind of options will be there. Whether you want to print the output onto the screen, okay, these kind of options. You look at so many options are available here, and we need to supply the PCAP file so that this will be run on our computer as it is happening really on our computer. That means this traffic already generated somewhere, but we are rerunning it as it is happening on our computer. Okay, so if you are dealing with multiple interfaces in a PCAP file, and our computer must have multiple interfaces, so with TCP reply we can send traffic from one interface to other interface. Like that we can shift on. So this is what the TCP reply tool is. For more details, you can find online documentation. However, it is not part of our work at present. So this much information I am providing. TCP reply is especially used for the replying of the same PCAP traffic which was already happened. Okay, to be presumed and assumed that it is happening on our computer, so that we can test the intrusion detection rules in a successful way. Now we'll see how to use this TCP reply and to go for reply analysis. The TCP reply will be like this: TCP reply -t -i on which Ethernet interface you want to run this PCAP file. That means what is the internal address available in the PCAP file will be assigned to the Ethernet 1. Okay, even though Ethernet 1 is on 192 series, the PCAP file that what we are going to use is with the 172 series. So Ethernet 1 will be assumed as the 172, and this PCAP file will run. -L 5 means how many times you are supposed to run. You want to run this particular PCAP file. I want to run this PCAP file traffic on the Ethernet, okay, for 5 times. Okay, this is the way we are supposed to use this. There are so many other options. You can browse through that, but it is not at present. We want to discuss that. So that is the reason I am going to place only the TCP reply that is required for us. So 2016, this one. This is the PCAP, right? Now whenever you run this, so here it is showing that it is unable to send packet, no problem. But here statistics for the network device Ethernet 1, successful packets sent are 15,300, failed packets to send are 5 and 9. And this is nowhere it was sent. Actually, it is a kind of toy simulation that we are going to do with the TCP reply. Okay. Now what we'll do is we'll open another command prompt, and in the then we're supposed to check on the log also, log slash var slash log slash not. So alert, we don't have content, so 0 bytes. Not dot alert, some content is there. Not dot alert dot fast is also something content is there. Not dot log, some content is there. So now not dot alert dot fast, we'll see any content is there in this. Nothing is there. Now this is very important to observe here. Snort, we're supposed to run snort hyphen v. So actually we don't, if you don't know the interfaces, how many interfaces are connected to this, you can say hyphen ew. It will show you the list of interfaces for this snort hyphen v for the hyphen v. So actually hyphen w is to show the list of interfaces that are attached to the computer. A hyphen v is to sniff the packet. Hyphen I on the ETH1 Ethernet 1. Hyphen L is for the logging. Log will be done on the var slash log slash snort, and we are supposed to use the configuration script, because in the configuration script such as this one snort.conf, we have mentioned 172.16.2.96 as our home network, and other things like checking of the local rules and checking of other filters pre-process will be mentioned in this configuration script. So that is the reason we need to provide the location of the configuration script, which is available at /etc/snort/snort.conf. Now the snort is ready to sniff the packets on the ETH1. Now what we are supposed to do, we are supposed to use the TCP reply and run the packets, that is run the traffic in the PCAP file, assuming that it is running from the ETH1 itself. So TCP reply hyphen T hyphen I hyphen T hyphen I, that is Ethernet 1. You are assuming Ethernet 1 to run this PCAP file. Around 5 times we want to write this. So you can observe here the traffic is going from 172.16.2.96 and some port number 59381 to some other address. So here 224.0.022, some external network. So whenever you run this TCP reply on Ethernet 1, whatever the traffic is available in this PCAP file is running onto the Ethernet 1, and same is sniffed by the snort. Now our aim is whether the rules that what we have written here has been executed or not. So how can we check it? We can check it via the log files. Alert, nothing was recorded in this. In alert.fast, something was recorded. So 4.1 KB is available here. Right click and let us check it. Mousepad. Yeah. We got here probable post infection. The first indication, a network trojan was detected, and how it was detected from the internal network to the external network. That is 65.181.112.240, and HTTP port is 80 here. right? Then probable post-infection first indication, second indication, third indication, and fourth indication, that is in the post request. So here are the rules that we have written. Probable post-infection first indication, second indication, third indication, fourth indication. And whenever the post request was observed at the end, because if you look at the post is observed at the end, the previously all get infections were there. The last infection, the fourth infection is at post. The same thing we have found here in the log. The fourth indication, classification and network Trojan was detected. Okay. Next is priority 1. We have seen the priority. What is the priority here? Here the priority we have seen in the modifiers, like here priority 1 is really bad. Okay, 1 is really bad, 2 is not so bad, and 3 is informational. See, 1 is really bad. See, we have not written anything in this. Even in our rules also we have not written the priority. How we are getting this priority? That means already the rules were there for this not in the sys software. So since in the snort.conf we have included all those rules, it was passed through those rules, and finally it was come to know that this network Trojan is a type of priority 1, that is top priority. Immediate attention is required for this. I hope you got this by this time. Okay, the observing of the network traffic via the Wireshark and making the rules for the traffic that we have identified as malicious, and using the same PCAP running on this knot with the rules that we have formed, and finally observing the log whether the rules that have been written have been successfully identified or not. This is the way we'll write the signatures, by analyzing the malware traffic that is available on with the PCAP files in the real world.